You know, in today's world, this hyper-connected, always-on world of Industry 4.0, we're doing some pretty incredible things. But all this progress, it has a flip side, doesn't it? It comes with a whole new set of challenges, a new kind of pressure. So let's dive in and really explore what stress looks like in this new age, and more importantly, what we're going to do about it.
It's a pretty heavy question, right? And the answer, well, it might be a lot closer than you think. This isn't about some threat out there in the world. Nope. It's a reaction that builds up right inside each of us, and it affects our health, our happiness, and yeah, even our performance at work. We're talking about stress. And that's the thing. The very same technology that's supposed to make our lives easier can also create that constant, always-on feeling. You know what I'm talking about? And this relentless drive for innovation, which is exciting, for sure, it's also creating this unique kind of professional pressure that, let's be honest, a lot of us are really struggling to deal with.
Look, this is so much more than just feeling overwhelmed. We are talking about a real, bottom-line financial cost to businesses. When you add up things like absenteeism and lost productivity, it's costing companies billions. But forget the money for a second. What about the human price? The burnout, the exhaustion? That's the cost that really matters.
So, if we want to manage stress, the very first step is to understand it. You got to know your enemy, right? That means learning the fundamentals, figuring out your own personal triggers, because they're different for everyone, and learning to recognize those little warning signs your mind and body are sending you before that pressure boils over.
But just pointing out the problem isn't enough, not even close. The real goal here is to build resilience. So let's talk about the path forward, a clear, effective way to not just manage stress, but to actually master it.
So what's the end game? What will you actually be able to do? Well, you'll have a whole new set of practical skills. We're talking about applying powerful techniques to change stressful thought patterns, to handle pressure like a pro, and to communicate what you need clearly and calmly. These aren't theories, they're real tools for real life.
So where do we start? We start with the physical. Why? Because that's often where we feel stress first and most intensely. You know that tension in your shoulders, that knot in your stomach, the shallow breathing? This is all about taking back control of your body's response.
It all kicks off with something simple, but believe me, it is powerful. Body awareness. All this really is the practice of learning to listen to your body's signals. By using simple tools like a stress diary, you can start to connect the dots and pinpoint exactly when and where you hold on to tension. It's like turning on the lights in a dark room. And then you have the ultimate tool for instant calm, something you have with you 24/7, your breath. Take abdominal breathing, for example, also called belly breathing. It's a simple technique where you focus on deep breaths that expand your stomach. That one little action can literally flip your body's relaxation switch. And the best part? You can do it anywhere, before a big meeting, sitting in traffic, no one even has to know.
Now, mastering your body's response is absolutely crucial. But for true, lasting resilience, we've got to go deeper. We have to master the mind. This next set of strategies is all about rewiring those thought patterns that create the stress in the first place.
Just look at this. Does any of it sound a little familiar? So many of us have these irrational thoughts running on autopilot. The key is learning to catch them, to challenge them, and then to consciously replace them with rational, more empowering responses. I'm telling you, making that cognitive shift is an absolute game changer.
And there's actually a proven method for this. It's called Rational Emotive Behavior Therapy, or REBT for short. The whole idea is based on one simple principle. It's not the events in our lives that cause stress, but our beliefs about those events. Once you learn to systematically take apart those unhelpful beliefs, you gain control over your emotions.
And the mental toolkit we're talking about doesn't stop there. It is loaded with strategies. For instance, thought stopping is a technique where you literally catch a negative thought loop in its tracks and use a mental command, like just shouting the word stop in your head, to interrupt it before it spirals. It's just one of many tools you'll have to build a comprehensive mental gym for resilience.
So, let's zoom out. What does all this mean for the bigger picture, for an entire organization? It means transforming the whole approach to work. It's about shifting from a culture that's just reacting to stress to one that's proactive and strategic, where people are empowered to do their absolute best work.
And who exactly are these skills for? 100% of the workforce. Every single person. Because stress doesn't care about your job title. It doesn't care how long you've been with the company. In our world, being able to manage pressure isn't a soft skill anymore. It's a fundamental skill for survival and success.
I mean, think about it. From the newest person on the team just trying to find their footing, all the way up to the senior leaders managing immense pressure, everybody benefits. When an entire organization shares a common language and a toolkit for managing stress, you create a culture that's healthier, more collaborative, and way more productive.
And let's be clear, you're not going to learn these skills by sitting through a dry, boring lecture. No way. True mastery comes from doing. That's why this is all about a dynamic, hands-on experience. We're talking real-world case studies, interactive role-playing, and even some gamification to make sure these skills actually stick with you.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought. What if we stopped seeing stress as just this awful thing to be endured? What if we started seeing the ability to manage it as a core competency, a key strategic advantage? Just imagine how our workplaces could change if resilience wasn't just a buzzword, but was the actual goal.